All right, so now we know, or we see that the colonists have won the war with the British. Okay, there is a new country here, but the question is, what are we going to do? Well, or not we, but what are these colonists going to do? Um, and the first thing they attempted to do in 1781, right at the end of the war, was to set up a government called the Articles, using a document called the Articles of Confederation. Now, this government will not last. It will last 6 years, but I think it's interesting to look into what that government structure was, to understand why it failed, and then to be able to see if there's any kind of connections moving forwards. I mean, first off, let's just simply take a look and say, within that name, Articles of Confederation, we see that during the Civil War, there was a group of states that left the country called the Confederacy. And really, those are connected. A confederation, in the Articles of Confederation, what was created were 13 independent countries that are only tied together for war. Okay, they had a government where very little could be done. It created very, very strong state governments and very, very weak central government located at that point in Philly, I believe. And this doesn't work. Okay, they're not able to run this country in a smooth manner using this system in place where basically we have 13 independent countries that are tied together simply by sorry, I was distracted, defense. And instead, the decision was made that they need to write a constitution. That constitution that is written is our constitution. So 1787, they go back to the drawing board. They're going to scrap the Articles of Confederation, and they're going to now focus in on creating a new government to govern this fledgling country based on 13 English colonies. The Constitution will eventually pass. There's a lot of details behind the negotiations and how it works out. But understand, the big ideas here are that the Constitution is going to use many Enlightenment ideas in it, including, although it wasn't there at first by 1789 when the Constitution was signed, it wasn't there, but there was a promise that there would be a Bill of Rights. And 2 years later, in 1791, the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution are passed, just as promised, as agreed upon. And we can look at those Bill of Rights from our freedoms of speech and religion, Enlightenment ideas, to things like the 5th through 8th Amendments, which are guarantees to rights to citizens in terms of legalities, in terms of the court system, a right to a free trial, a right to not have your house searched, a right to no cruel and unusual punishment. So we're going to find that within our Constitution, specifically the Bill of Rights, we're going to have a lot of Enlightenment ideas mixed in. And that's really where the connection comes into with what we've been studying, which is the Enlightenment. And we can see now that the United States, 1789, 1791, in this range, has a governing document, the longest lasting constitution, written constitution on earth to this day, that uses Enlightenment ideas.